Everything in life moves faster than we can handle. People are talking, opinions are everywhere, and demands keep piling up. Most of the time we react before we even think, and we pay the price for that. But there is a force few people understand, a force that can change everything in your life immediately if you use it the right way. That force is silence. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is clarity. Silence is control. When you learn how to use silence, you stop being pushed around by circumstances, emotions, or other people. You begin to see what others miss. You hear what others ignore. And you make decisions that feel almost effortless but lead to unstoppable results. Life starts to flow in your favor because you are no longer reacting. You are acting with precision, focus, and purpose. Everything that once seemed chaotic begins to make sense, and opportunities that were invisible before become clear and reachable. This is not about being quiet for the sake of quiet. This is about mastering the power inside you, protecting your energy, sharpening your mind, and aligning every part of your life with what truly matters. Silence gives you peace, power, and purpose, and it makes the world work for you instead of against you. Number 1, silence helps you understand before you react. When a person truly begins to understand the power of silence, everything in their life starts to shift. Most people spend their days reacting to noise, to opinions, to problems, to emotions. They speak too quickly, decide too quickly, and regret even faster. But there's a hidden strength in the one who doesn't rush to respond, who doesn't fight every battle, and who doesn't explain every move. Silence is not weakness, it is power under control. It's the calm that allows you to see clearly while others are blinded by noise. When you choose silence before reacting, you gain something that most people never experience: awareness. You start to see what's actually happening instead of what your emotions are trying to make you believe. In that quiet moment between what happens and how you respond, your entire future can change. Because silence gives you time to understand, not just react. It lets you look at a situation from all sides before making a move. Most people ruin opportunities because they speak before thinking. They lose relationships, jobs, and peace because they let emotion run the show. When you train yourself to stay silent first, you step out of the chaos and into control. You begin to separate your reaction from the reality. You learn that not every comment deserves a reply, not every insult deserves energy, and not every misunderstanding needs to be fixed immediately. You begin to understand that your silence speaks louder than any argument could. Silence gives you space to study people. When you're quiet, you start noticing what others don't say, not just what they say. You begin to see patterns in behavior. You start to recognize truth without needing it spoken. Silence allows you to gather information others miss because they're too busy trying to be heard. It's not about ignoring people. It's about understanding them before you decide how to deal with them. That's how you stay one step ahead, not through noise, but through clarity. In silence, your emotions cool down, your thoughts settle. You begin to respond from wisdom, not from impulse. The person who stays calm when everyone else loses control is the one people start to respect. Because silence shows strength. Anyone can shout back, anyone can argue, but not everyone can stay calm and controlled in a storm. When you master that, people start paying attention, not because you demand it, but because your silence demands it for you. Think about how much peace you lose every time you react instantly. How many times have you said something in anger and wished you could take it back? How many situations have gotten worse because you didn't take a moment to breathe and understand first? Silence is your protection from that chaos. It gives you a buffer between your emotions and your decisions. And that's where real maturity lives, in the ability to pause, reflect, and then respond in a way that builds, not destroys. Silence also reveals truth about others and about yourself. When you stop talking and start observing, you learn who truly values you and who just values your reactions. You see who respects your boundaries and who tries to cross them. Silence is a mirror. It reflects everything back with clarity. It also helps you hear your own inner voice, the one that gets drowned out by everyone else's noise. You begin to see what you really want, what you really need, and who you really are. Sometimes silence is the smartest answer you can give, because when people can't read your reactions, they can't control your emotions. You stop being predictable. Waha. You stop being manipulated. You start moving strategically, not emotionally. That's how you keep your peace while still moving toward your goals. Silence doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've learned to care wisely. It means you're choosing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. There's power in the person who knows when to speak and when to hold their words. Because when you finally do speak, it carries weight. People listen. They know you don't talk just to talk. You talk when something matters, and that gives your words influence. Silence builds authority without you ever needing to demand it. It earns respect without you having to ask for it. So when life throws chaos your way, when people try to provoke you, when circumstances test your patience, remember that silence is not your weakness. It's your weapon of wisdom. It's the difference between reacting emotionally and responding intelligently. It's what separates those who are ruled by emotion from those who lead with strength and self-control. The next time you feel pressure to react, stop. Feel your heartbeat slow. Feel your breath steady. Think before you speak. Listen before you respond. Observe before you act. Because the one who stays silent long enough to understand always ends up making the strongest move. If you want to build peace, if you want to grow in strength, if you want to command respect, master the power of silence. In silence, you see things as they truly are. In silence, you find your center, and from that place of calm control, you begin to make decisions that move everything in your life in your favor. The moment you choose silence over chaos, you take back your power. You stop being reactive and start being strategic. You stop feeding negativity and start feeding clarity. You become harder to provoke, harder to shake, harder to manipulate. That's when everything begins to flow in your favor, not because the world changes, but because you do. Number 2, silence builds respect and authority without words. Silence builds respect and authority without a single word. When you walk into a room and you're calm, composed, and quiet, people notice. You don't have to announce your presence. You don't have to demand attention. Your energy does it for you. Silence gives you a certain power, a quiet kind of confidence that says, I don't need to prove anything. And that's exactly what makes people pay attention. Because true authority isn't loud, it's steady. It doesn't seek validation, it commands it naturally. When you speak less, your words carry more weight. People start to value what you say because you don't waste words. You don't speak just to be heard, you speak when it matters. Yeah. That discipline makes you stand out in a world where everyone is shouting to be noticed. The person who can stay silent while others argue gains more respect than the one who talks the most. Silence shows emotional control. It shows that you're not easily provoked. It shows that you have self-respect, and self-respect always earns respect from others. In every environment, business, relationships, social circles, there's a natural advantage that comes with silence. When you're silent, people become curious. They wonder what you're thinking. They pay attention when you finally decide to speak. That curiosity gives you influence without even trying. You don't need to compete for attention because you've already earned it through your calm presence. Those who rely on loudness to appear confident are often masking insecurity. They talk more to convince themselves, not others. But those who are secure in who they are don't need noise. Their silence becomes their shield and their strength. They understand that authority isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself, and silence helps you do exactly that. When you remain quiet in moments of tension, people sense that you're in control. They see that you're not emotionally reactive, and that makes you trustworthy. Because people naturally respect those who can remain grounded when others lose their balance. They see that you're not easily shaken, that your emotions don't dictate your actions. That's the foundation of real authority, emotional discipline. There's also something powerful about not rushing to fill every gap in a conversation. The one who's comfortable with silence is often the one who's truly confident. When you pause before speaking, it shows maturity. It shows that you think before you act, that your words come from understanding, not impulse. And the more you practice that, the more people start to lean in when you talk. They begin to expect value from your words because they know you don't waste them. In silence, you communicate strength without effort. People who always talk give away too much, their emotions, their thoughts, their weaknesses. But when you remain composed, you keep your energy contained. You make people wonder what's behind that calm. That mystery adds to your presence. You become unpredictable, and unpredictability often translates into power. You'll notice how the strongest leaders and the wisest people rarely speak unnecessarily. They choose their words carefully because they understand their power. They know that silence can't be misunderstood, but words can. They use silence to observe, to assess, to understand the environment before making a move. And when they finally do speak, their voice has impact. The respect that comes from silence is not about fear. It's about presence. It's the kind of respect that's built through consistency, discipline, and inner peace. So you don't have to control others when you can control yourself. That's what makes silence so powerful. It trains you to hold your ground without aggression. It teaches you that influence doesn't always require explanation. In every argument, silence will reveal who has control. The one who stays quiet holds the power. The one who reacts loses it. Because silence shows strength. It shows that you're not desperate for approval or attention. It means you're not controlled by others' emotions. That's the kind of authority people admire and remember. When you practice silence, you also begin to notice how it shifts the dynamic around you. People start choosing their words more carefully when they talk to you. They respect your space. They sense your boundaries. They know they can't easily manipulate or provoke you. That's how silence builds an invisible wall of authority, one that protects your peace and commands respect at the same time. You don't need to shout to prove you're right. You don't need to argue to be understood. You don't need to explain yourself to everyone. The power of silence does it for you. The calmness in your tone, the patience in your reactions, the control in your body language, that's what earns you real respect. The truth is, those who master silence never have to chase validation. They draw it naturally. People may not always agree with them, but they'll always respect them. Because silence, when backed by strength and clarity, becomes a force that can't be ignored. It builds your reputation quietly. It builds trust over time, and it makes your presence impossible to overlook. In a world that rewards loudness, silence becomes your signature of strength. When others compete to be seen, you stand out by being grounded. When others rush to speak, you wait for the right moment. And when you finally do speak, your words carry the weight of calm authority. That's how silence makes everything start flowing in your favor, not by forcing attention, but by earning it naturally through the quiet confidence that only comes from true self-control. Number 3, in silence, you hear the truth about yourself and others. Silence reveals what noise hides. When the world gets quiet, you begin to hear what's really going on inside you. Most people never stop long enough to face themselves. They fill every quiet moment with distraction, music, scrolling, talking, anything to avoid being alone with their thoughts. But silence strips away the noise and shows you what's real. It exposes your insecurities, your fears, your doubts, but also your strengths, your dreams, and your potential. In silence, you can no longer run from the truth. You start to see yourself clearly. Time becomes a mirror. You notice the thoughts that keep repeating, the emotions you keep suppressing, the things that truly matter to you. So when you sit in silence, you start understanding why you do what you do, why you react a certain way, why you chase certain things, and why you avoid others. It's not always comfortable, but it's necessary. Because growth starts with awareness, and awareness only comes when you stop drowning in noise. In silence, you start to hear your inner voice again. The one that guides you, warns you, and pushes you toward what's right. That voice is often buried under opinions, pressure, and expectations from others. But once you give yourself space to listen, you'll realize you've had the answers all along. The problem isn't that life doesn't speak, it's that we rarely stop to listen. Silence helps you reconnect with that inner wisdom. It also shows you the truth about others. When you're quiet, you notice things that people who talk too much never see. You start paying attention to tone, to energy, to actions instead of words. People reveal more in silence than they ever will through speaking. When you stop interrupting and truly observe, you begin to understand who's genuine and who's pretending. You see who listens and who just waits to talk. You see who respects your space and who tries to dominate it. Silence gives you insight, the kind of understanding that words often disguise. When you master silence, you begin to see relationships differently. You stop getting caught up in meaningless conversations and start valuing depth. You notice who drains your energy and who brings you peace. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to everyone because you realize that most people only hear from their level of understanding. Silence saves you from wasting energy trying to convince those who don't care to understand. It teaches you that not every thought needs to be shared, not every opinion deserves a response, and not every situation. The truth is, silence sharpens your awareness like nothing else. You begin to pick up on details, not just in others, but in life itself. You notice timing. You sense energy. You recognize patterns that you couldn't see before because you were too busy talking, worrying, or reacting. That awareness makes you wiser. It gives you clarity about what to do next, who to keep close, and where to direct your energy. When you spend time in silence, you start separating your real self from the version the world expects you to be. You see how much of your life is influenced by noise, by comparison, competition, and approval seeking. Silence helps you strip that away. It brings you back to your center. You begin to operate from peace, not pressure. You no longer chase everything that shines because you finally understand what truly matters to you. In that quiet space, you learn that not everything deserves your attention. You realize that peace is more valuable than being right. That understanding yourself is more powerful than being understood by everyone. Silence gives you time to process before reacting. It gives you distance to see things for what they really are. It helps you choose your battles wisely and act with purpose instead of emotion. When you stop talking and start listening, you begin to see life differently. You stop being reactive and become reflective. You stop moving through life on impulse and start moving with intention. You start hearing not only what others say, but also what they mean. You start understanding not only what you feel, but why you feel it. That's the kind of awareness that separates the average from the extraordinary. Silence teaches you emotional intelligence. It shows you that not every reaction deserves expression. It reminds you that power is not in always speaking, it's in knowing when not 2. In quiet moments, you build patience, self-control, and wisdom, qualities that make you stand out in a noisy, reactive world. And once you experience the truth that silence brings, you won't crave noise the same way again. You'll start protecting your quiet time because it becomes sacred. It becomes the place where you recharge, where you reflect, where you realign. It's in those silent moments that you plan your next move, that you let go of what's holding you back, that you grow stronger from the inside out. Silence isn't emptiness, it's awareness. It's where you gain understanding, not only of others, but of yourself. And once you truly know yourself, no one can shake your peace. Because the truth that comes from silence builds the foundation of strength that no amount of noise can destroy. Number 4, silence protects your energy from unnecessary drama. One of the greatest strengths a person can develop is learning when to stay silent. Not because you have nothing to say, but because not every situation deserves your words. Silence is your shield. It keeps you from wasting energy on arguments, gossip, or meaningless conflicts that drain your peace and focus. In a world full of noise and chaos, silence becomes your protection. It keeps your mind clear and your emotions stable when everyone else is losing control. There comes a point in life when you realize not everything needs your reaction. People will try to provoke you, misunderstand you, and even test your patience just to get a rise out of you. The moment you react emotionally, you hand them control over your peace. But when you stay silent, you stay in control. You're no longer feeding into their drama. You're not letting their noise invade your calm. You learn that your silence is more powerful than any argument you could ever have. Energy is everything. What you give your energy to shapes your life. When you waste it on negativity, you have less left for your goals, your growth, and your purpose. Silence teaches you to be selective. You start choosing your battles wisely. You realize that not everyone deserves an explanation. Not every situation requires a response. And not every person is worth your attention. When you master that, your life starts to change. You become calmer, stronger, and more focused. People who constantly react lose power. They get pulled into every argument, every rumor, every drama. But those who know when to stay silent command respect. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means discipline. It means you're mature enough to know that some things are better left unsaid. You protect your peace by not feeding what drains it. You stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop arguing with people who only listen to respond, not to understand. When you start valuing your peace more than your pride, everything shifts. You stop chasing validation. You stop trying to prove yourself to those who don't matter. You stop engaging with negativity because you realize your energy is sacred. You only have so much to give, and if you keep giving it to nonsense, you'll never have enough left to build the life you truly want. Silence helps you redirect that energy toward things that actually matter. Your goals, your growth, your vision. The truth is, drama thrives on reaction. The moment you stop reacting, it loses power. When people can't get a reaction from you, they get confused. They can't manipulate your emotions or control your peace. Silence forces them to deal with their own noise. It shows them that you operate from strength, not from emotion. That's how you maintain authority, not by being the loudest, but by being the calmest in the room. Think about it. When was the last time reacting made things better? Most of the time, reacting only escalates the situation, leaving you frustrated and drained. But silence ends it before it begins. You don't have to defend your worth to anyone who doesn't see it. You don't have to explain your decisions to people who don't live your life. You don't owe anyone your energy. Silence becomes your boundary, a quiet line that protects your mind and your emotions. People who understand silence have a different kind of power. They walk into a room and don't need to say much. Their presence speaks for them. They don't chase attention, they attract it. They don't argue to be right. They stay calm because they know the truth doesn't need to shout. Silence makes you unshakable. It keeps you grounded when others try to pull you into chaos. Now, when you start using silence wisely, you'll notice how peaceful your life becomes. The things that used to bother you stop affecting you. The people who once drained you lose access to your energy. You become more focused, more productive, more at peace. You stop wasting hours trying to fix things that aren't yours to fix. You stop trying to control how others see you. You start focusing only on what you can control, your response, your actions, your direction. There's a special kind of freedom that comes from silence. It's the freedom of not being controlled by everything happening around you. It's the strength of walking away from noise without needing to prove your point. It's the power of knowing that you don't have to respond to be understood. You don't have to fight every battle to win in life. Sometimes silence is the loudest message you can send. You learn that peace is not found in controlling others, it's found in controlling yourself. It's found in walking away instead of reacting. It's found in staying calm when the world expects you to explode. Silence gives you that control. It reminds you that the person who stays calm always wins, because the one who controls their reaction controls the outcome. So protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. Every time you stay silent in the face of drama, you're choosing growth over chaos. You're choosing focus over distraction. You're choosing peace over pride. That's real power. And once you master that, you'll never waste another ounce of your energy on anything or anyone that doesn't serve your peace again. Number 5, silence makes your next move more strategic. There's a certain strength in moving quietly. When you're silent, you give yourself the space to think clearly, plan carefully, and act with precision. Silence sharpens your awareness. It allows you to observe patterns, notice details, and understand situations before you act. When you move in silence, you don't waste energy explaining or announcing what you're going to do. You simply do it. And that's where your real advantage begins. In a noisy world where everyone wants to be seen and heard, silence becomes a superpower. People talk too much about what they're planning to achieve, and because of that, they end up losing focus before they even start. They waste time looking for validation instead of putting in the work. But those who stay silent about their next move, who protect their goals from unnecessary eyes, will make progress that's surprising. They don't talk about success. They build it quietly day by day. Silence creates distance between you and the noise. It gives you time to prepare without distraction. When you keep your plans to yourself, no one can discourage you, doubt you, or interfere. You don't have to fight off other people's opinions because you've learned that their understanding isn't required for your success. You don't need applause before you begin. You don't need to explain your direction. You just need to move quietly, deliberately, and consistently. When you stay silent about your next step, you learn to rely on execution instead of expression. You start to think deeper, not louder. You begin to value strategy over attention. Silence gives you power because it makes people underestimate you. They don't see you coming. They think you've stopped trying. They think you're done. But behind the scenes, you're working harder than ever. You're studying, preparing, building, refining, until your results speak so loudly that no words are needed. You'll notice that people who achieve the most often talk the least about what they're doing. That's because they understand the power of quiet work. They know that attention is temporary, but mastery lasts forever. They understand that when you talk too much about your goals, you give away your momentum. Every time you speak, about what you're going to do, you release a bit of the energy needed to actually do it. Silence keeps that energy stored. It keeps you focused and disciplined. Silence also allows you to control timing. Not every move should be revealed too early. Sometimes keeping things private is what protects your progress. When people don't know what you're planning, they can't interfere, they can't copy, and they can't compete, Silence keeps your strategy safe. It allows your work to mature in private before it faces the public. Because once it's out there, it's open to judgment, and that can easily disrupt your focus if you're not ready for it. When you're quiet, you start to notice how noise slows people down. Most people talk themselves out of progress. They announce their goals on social media, get a bit of attention, and then lose the hunger to follow through. They crave validation more than achievement. But when you stop talking and start doing, you realize the satisfaction doesn't come from being seen. It comes from knowing you're building something real, even if nobody claps for it yet. Working in silence doesn't mean you isolate yourself or never share anything. It means you share less and do more. It means you only speak when it adds value. It means you use your energy wisely, not to explain your vision, but to execute it. People may not notice your growth immediately, but one day your results will walk into the room before you. Do. Your progress will speak louder than any promise you could have made. When you move in silence, you gain clarity. You stop being influenced by other people's noise. You stop comparing your journey to anyone else's. You stop worrying about who's ahead or behind. You stay focused on your own lane. And that's how progress happens, not by talking, not by showing off, but by staying consistent with your plan. Silence also protects your peace during tough times. Not every struggle needs to be broadcasted. Some seasons are meant to be faced privately, where you can grow without judgment. Silence gives you that safe space to evolve. You process your lessons quietly. You adjust your mindset. You strengthen your discipline. And when you come back stronger, wiser, sharper, because you use silence as your training ground. The more you grow, the more you'll realize that success doesn't need to be loud. The people who truly have power don't announce it. The ones who are really confident don't need to convince anyone. They move in silence because they trust their path. They don't seek validation. They let their work prove them right. And that's exactly how you turn your silence into strength. So the next time you feel the urge to talk about your next move, stop and remember this: you owe nobody an explanation. You don't have to share every detail of your journey. You don't have to prove your progress. Work quietly, stay patient, and allow your actions to tell your story. Because when you move in silence, your success becomes impossible to ignore. And when that moment comes, your results will speak for you, louder, clearer, and far more powerfully than words ever could. Number 6, silence turns emotional chaos into inner clarity. You see, most people live their lives surrounded by noise. The noise of opinions, expectations, notifications, and self-doubt. They wake up, and the first thing they do is grab their phone. They scroll through other people's lives before they even take a moment to check in with their own. And then they wonder why they feel lost, anxious, or confused. It's because their mind has no silence left. It's because their emotions have no space to breathe. Silence, my friend, is not emptiness. It's strength. It's clarity. It's the place where wisdom lives. When you learn to be silent, not just with your mouth, but with your mind, you begin to see things differently. You stop reacting to everything. You stop giving your energy to things that don't deserve it. You stop trying to explain yourself to people who don't understand your vision. And in that quiet space, something powerful happens. Your mind starts to clear up. You begin to understand what you really want. You begin to recognize what truly matters. and that clarity becomes your compass. Most people fear silence because it forces them to face themselves. No, it reveals the truth they've been avoiding about their habits, their fears, their excuses. But that's exactly why silence is so important. Because when you sit with yourself long enough, the noise fades and the truth surfaces. And the truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is what sets you free. You don't always need to react. You don't always need to respond. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stay silent, observe, and let time reveal what words cannot. That's how wise people move. They don't rush to defend themselves. They don't waste energy arguing with small minds. They remain calm because they understand that silence has more power than noise ever will. When your emotions are storming inside you, silence is what anchors you. It reminds you that not everything deserves a reaction. It teaches you that peace is not found in control. It's found in surrender. You can't control what people do or say, but you can control how you respond. And silence gives you that power. Take moments in your day to be still, even 5 minutes. Turn off the noise, step away from the crowd, and just breathe. Listen to your own thoughts. Watch them pass without judging them. The more you practice silence, the more in control you become. Because silence strengthens the muscle of self-awareness, and self-awareness leads to self-mastery. It's in silence that you reconnect with your purpose. It's in silence that you hear the voice of your intuition. And it's in silence that you find peace, no matter how loud the world gets. Because clarity doesn't come from noise, it comes from stillness. So if you want to rise above the chaos, learn to embrace silence. Make it a daily discipline. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs people who can stay calm in the middle of confusion. People who can think clearly when others panic. People who can act from purpose instead of emotion. That's what silence gives you. When you learn to be silent, you stop being reactive and start being powerful. You stop chasing peace and start creating it within yourself. And when your inner world becomes calm, your outer world follows. So remember this, silence is not weakness. Silence is wisdom. It's not the absence of power, it's the birthplace of it. The quieter you become, the stronger your focus gets. The calmer your emotions become, the clearer your path becomes. That's how you transform emotional chaos into unshakable clarity through silence. Number 7. Silence aligns you with peace, power, and purpose. Life is full of noise. There is noise in the streets, noise in your home, noise in your mind. Every day, you are bombarded with distractions, demands, opinions, and pressure from every direction. Most people never pause to notice how loud it is inside them. Their minds are cluttered with worry, fear, resentment, and confusion. Their hearts are weighed down with tension and restlessness. And yet, there is a way to rise above all of it. Silence. Not just quieting your surroundings, but quieting your mind and connecting with your own inner center. That's where peace, power, and purpose are born. Silence is the foundation of peace. When the world is yelling for your attention, when chaos seems to be chasing you at every turn, silence gives you a place to breathe. It gives you a space to untangle your thoughts and organize your emotions. In silence, you are not reacting. You are observing. You are not controlled by others' expectations. You are in control of your own mind. You discover that peace is not found in avoiding challenges or in making everyone happy. It is found in aligning your life with what truly matters to you. Peace is not passive. True peace is a quiet confidence that allows you to face the storms without panic. It is the ability to make decisions without being overwhelmed by emotion. It is being grounded in who you are, knowing your values, and refusing to be shaken by external noise. Silence gives you that power to choose calm over chaos every single time. Power comes next. Real power is not about forcing your way through life or controlling others. Real power is mastery over your own mind, your own actions, and your own reactions. When you practice silence, you strengthen this inner power. You learn to pause before you respond. You learn to think clearly before you act. You learn to conserve your energy for what truly moves you forward. Silence allows you to move with precision instead of wasting energy on unnecessary battles. People who harness the power of silence are not easily manipulated, not easily distracted, and not easily shaken. They carry themselves with an authority that comes from clarity and self-control, not from words or loud gestures. Purpose is the final piece. Life without purpose is like a ship without a rudder. You can work hard, chase success, or accumulate things, but without a clear purpose, it all feels meaningless. Silence is the space where purpose reveals itself. When the mind is still, your heart speaks. You begin to hear what you are meant to do, what you are meant to contribute, and what you truly value. Your decisions become intentional. Your actions become aligned with your deepest goals and your highest ideals. Silence allows you to cut through the distractions and focus on what matters most. When you combine peace, power, and purpose, you become unstoppable. People will notice your calmness, your decisiveness, and your clarity. They will seek your counsel and respect your presence. You will operate at a level where obstacles become manageable because you are anchored by your inner inner strength. Challenges do not derail you, they test you and refine you. You move through life with a sense of control and direction that others can only envy. Developing this kind of alignment requires daily practice. Start by creating intentional silence in your day. Step away from screens, social media, and the constant chatter of the world. Sit quietly. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Reflect on your goals, your values, and your actions. The more time you spend in silence, the more naturally peace, power, and purpose will guide your decisions. Notice how your relationships change. When you are aligned, you speak less, but what you say carries weight. You listen more, and listening gives you insight into others that most people miss. You stop reacting impulsively to conflicts and instead respond with wisdom and clarity. Your energy is protected from unnecessary drama, and you can invest it in what builds your life, not what drains it. Your work changes too. Silence allows your mind to focus without interruption. Creativity flows because you are no longer pulled in 1,000 directions. Your priorities become clearer, your time becomes more valuable, and your results improve dramatically. People who harness the power of silence notice that their productivity increases, their decision-making sharpens, and their influence grows naturally. Ultimately, silence is a tool for mastery. Mastery over your mind, your emotions, your actions, and your life. It allows you to act from a place of calm authority instead of panic and confusion. It ensures that your energy goes toward building your vision instead of fueling pointless arguments, distractions, or regrets. Silence aligns you with the forces that matter most in life: peace, power, and purpose. And once you experience that alignment, life begins to flow in your favor. Peace, power, and purpose are not things you chase outside yourself. They are cultivated inside in quiet moments of reflection, focus, and self-control. The world may be loud and chaotic, but you do not need to participate in the noise. You only need to master the silence within. When you do, you move through life with clarity, authority, and confidence. Your actions are intentional, your presence is commanding, and your decisions are aligned with your highest goals. That is the true power of silence. When you integrate silence into your daily life, you stop reacting to every trigger, every distraction, every demand. You create space to think clearly, act deliberately, and live intentionally. And when peace, power, and purpose are in alignment, success, fulfillment, and respect follow naturally. You become the person others admire not for what you say, but for who you are and what you consistently demonstrate, silence is not absence, it is presence. It is not weakness, it is strength. It is not emptiness, it is the foundation for a life lived fully, clearly, and with impact. Every decision, every action, every moment of focus becomes more meaningful when you practice silence. It allows life to flow in your favor because you operate from clarity, not confusion, from calm, not chaos. It's not distraction. Silence is not just a habit, it is a lifestyle that transforms everything about the way you move through life. When you embrace silence consistently, you start to notice subtle changes in the way you think, the way you feel, and the way others respond to you. You become aware of the unnecessary noise you were previously absorbing, gossip, opinions, criticism, and distractions that never served you. You start filtering your environment and your mind in a way that protects your energy and sharpens your focus. You begin to recognize that your time and attention are your most valuable resources, and you refuse to squander them on things that don't contribute to your growth or your vision. This transformation is not immediate, but it is inevitable when you commit to the practice. In silence, your mind becomes a clear mirror. You see your strengths, your weaknesses, your goals, and the steps you need to take with unprecedented clarity. You become more strategic because your decisions are no longer reactive, they are deliberate. You respond to life rather than being pushed and pulled by it. You recognize patterns that were invisible before. You anticipate challenges instead of being surprised by them. And you create solutions instead of chasing temporary fixes. Your life begins to operate on a higher level of efficiency, intelligence, and effectiveness. Silence also gives you the ability to handle emotions like never before. Without silence, every frustration, disappointment, and confrontation feels like it is consuming you. But when you practice silence, you gain a buffer between your emotions and your reactions. You learn to pause, observe, and process instead of erupting or withdrawing. Emotional clarity emerges naturally. You understand why you feel the way you do, what is truly important to respond to, and what can simply be released. In this calm, focused state, your actions are precise, intentional, and powerful. You stop wasting energy on conflicts and distractions, and you direct it toward building your life and achieving your goals. Your relationships improve profoundly. People are drawn to calm, clarity, and confidence. When you speak less but with intention, your words carry weight. When you listen deeply without the need to respond immediately, you gain insight, understanding, and respect. Others feel your presence without you needing to dominate the conversation or prove yourself. Your energy becomes magnetic because it is grounded in purpose and self-control. You create an environment around you where meaningful conversations flourish, where trust is built, and where collaboration thrives. Silence becomes your ally in cultivating influence and leadership naturally, without forcing it or demanding it. On a practical level, silence allows you to take better control of your life. Your priorities become clearer, your goals sharper, and your focus unshakable. Daily distractions no longer derail your progress because you have trained your mind to stay grounded, to stay disciplined, and to stay committed to what matters most. You recognize that consistency is more important than intensity, and persistence is more effective than reactionary bursts of effort. With silence as your tool, you structure your days intentionally, your decisions align with your long-term vision, and your results begin to compound in ways that feel almost effortless. Silence aligns you with peace because it eliminates unnecessary tension. It aligns you with your power because it gives you control over your mind and actions. It aligns you with purpose because it allows you to act from clarity rather than confusion. When these three forces converge, you operate on a level that others rarely achieve. You move through life with authority without needing to dominate, with confidence without needing validation, and with focus without being distracted by trivial matters. Your presence alone communicates competence, strength, and reliability. You no longer need to shout or rush because the results of your intentional actions speak louder than words ever could. Imagine approaching. You wake up knowing that your energy is protected, your focus is clear, and your purpose is defined. You face challenges not with panic or stress, but with strategy and calm confidence. You communicate with intention, act with precision, and invest your time and energy in the things that truly matter. Every decision you make reinforces your growth rather than undermining it. Every interaction becomes meaningful rather than draining. Every action contributes to building the life you want. Silence becomes your foundation, the source of your resilience, and the guide that keeps your life flowing in your favor. By embracing silence, you no longer let the chaos of the world dictate your state of mind or your success. You reclaim control, you gain perspective, you find clarity in what matters most. The noise of the world becomes background static that no longer has power over you. You step into every situation with awareness, intentionality, and calm authority. Your mind is sharp, your heart is steady, and your actions are aligned with your highest vision. The world may continue to rush, argue, and distract, but you move through it with poise, effectiveness, and influence. Silence is your secret advantage. It is the tool that allows life to flow in your favor. It is the practice that ensures your energy is always focused, your mind always clear, and your purpose always in alignment. It teaches you patience, builds your strength, and refines your clarity. When the world tries to pull you into conflict, reaction, or distraction, silence gives you the power to rise above. When decisions are complex and pressure mounts, silence allows your wisdom to guide you. When emotions threaten to take over, silence gives you control. And when success, fulfillment, and influence are the result, it is silence that quietly made it all possible. Your life is waiting for you to embrace this power. The calm, the clarity, the alignment that comes from silence is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the difference between reacting to life and designing your life. It is the difference between being pulled by circumstances and moving with purpose. It is the difference between temporary success and sustained fulfillment. Start cultivating silence today, guard it fiercely, and allow it to guide you. Every quiet moment becomes an investment in your peace, your power, and your purpose. When you harness silence fully, the flow of life itself begins to work for you, and the results you achieve will be unmistakable, undeniable, and unstoppable.